there, welcome to my wine channel. My name is Suela. I am the founder and owner at Suela Wines. I'm a biotechnologist by profession, I'm a winemaker, and I'm a wine enthusiast. So on today's topic, we're going to look at how dangerous it is for you to make your own wine at home. So when we speak of this subject about wine making at home, please bear in mind that this also applies to other alcoholic beverages such as cider, beer, and so on, whatever you want to call it, right? So just that I'm in the wine space, so I would rather just keep it within my territory. So let's go on about it. So we in South Africa are, on the fourth ban now, which is one of the regulations that have been, put by the government in the aim to cap the spread of the virus, because some of us just like to drink our beverages and then lose control. And that unfortunately contributes to it increases the rate at which the virus spreads. And that is something that the country cannot afford at the moment. So this has also opened an opportunity for a lot of people to start Googling, a lot of people start exploring their skills of making wine. So how can this making wine at home, this new hobby of yours, be dangerous to you, anybody else that you're going to be sharing that wine that you're going to produce at home? So one thing that I want to say to you is that we cannot cheat science. We cannot cheat nature. So we want to look at what really happens when we make wine at home and some of the facts that actually, are related to alcohol production. So this is my opinion, right? Like on the personal and also like expert level. So when we making wine at home, we make use of fruits that we use their sugars to convert into alcohol, which now is ethanol. Ethanol is the type of alcohol that is not dangerous to human health. So we also produce carbon dioxide and many other byproducts as we produce wine. So I also want to remind you that our great-great-parents have been producing alcohol at home for the longest for so many years, and some of them still do. I know a lot of women, older women, our grandparents from where I come from, they still produce tot, they still produce murula, and they enjoy it. So nobody ever really gets sick out of that. You know why? Because they followed, the rules or the principle of making wine, of making alcohol in the most purest form and the most natural way possible. And you cannot go wrong with that. When we're making wine at home, we use the fruits, we use the sugars that come from the fruits, and those sugars get converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide. That is a natural process. So ethanol is the alcohol that we're consuming. And then again, there is another possibility, which I don't think in the case where you're using fruits, you can produce methanol. Methanol is the only, that I know of at this moment, that is dangerous to your health if you were to consume it. But when we make wine out of fruits or cider or whatever, we are going to be producing ethanol, which is not dangerous at all. And the other fact that I want you to remember is that when we produce alcohol from these fruits, it's much likely that we're going to produce, wine or anything that has about the alcohol percentage of 12-10. It's never going to be far, way too high. And in an instance where somebody wants to perhaps take it up the notch and produce more alcohol out of what they are producing, then they would have to add more sugars. And even though we add more sugars, the chances of the yeast surviving to above 20% are relatively low. Actually, it's impossible. Microorganisms such as yeast that are taking part in this conversion of these sugars into alcohol cannot survive such high alcohol percentages or alcohol volumes. So alcohol itself inside this batch that you're producing serves as a preservative, serves as it prevents the growth of microorganisms, which could be another potential threat to your health. But fortunately, because alcohol prevents the growth of these microorganisms, it can be any other potent bacteria or whatever you want to name it. It cannot survive the conditions that are, presented by the alcohol within your batch. So which means that if there is alcohol and somewhere around 15.5, the microorganisms within your batch will begin to die. That's what you want. And that's also like a natural thing that controls, how much alcohol gets produced out of these sugars. Obviously, the sugar also that you put, like I said, has got a relationship with the amount of alcohol that you're going to be producing at the end of the day. So now we know we cannot die because there was like microorganisms. And obviously microorganisms in your batch is something that you need to take really serious, because it will be due to contamination. So contamination, whenever there is like microorganisms around you, that could be transferred into your batch, maybe by the equipment that you're using or your hands or whatever that is around you, the surface area where you're working. So it's very important that you keep on cleaning, sterilize everything that you're working with to avoid contamination. And if there could be contamination of certain microorganisms, bacteria that could survive, they're not going to kill you. You're not going to get sick from it, but you are just perhaps going to have a bad batch. The wine is just going to taste horrible because of that microbial contamination. So now we look at the other thing that other people tend to do when they're producing their own alcohol. Sometimes people want to speed up the rate at which this alcohol gets produced. So a person maybe ferments whatever pineapples they have for a day, and then they're like, oh shit, no, I want to drink. And then it still tastes sweet because the fermentation process has not even yet started. And what do? They add pure spirit to the wine. So we can add pure spirit to the wine, and that is a form of fortifying the wine. But sometimes people can add spirits that they don't even know. They don't even know what kind of alcohol is this. Could be methanol, could be spirit, could be any dangerous spirit that you could find out there. And sometimes people just don't care because they don't have the knowledge, they don't understand, and they pour that deadly, dangerous spirit into the wine. And that is how you get poisoned by homemade alcohol. And it's not because you've naturally allowed the wine to ferment on its own, but it's because you've added spirits that are dangerous to your health, and even in high amounts. So I hope that you found this content informative, and I hope that you continue to make your wine at home and learn how to make wine with us at Siwela Wines. You can visit our website www.siwelawines.co.za. We've got fantastic online courses. We also have got some of great wines that you can buy for when alcohol is finally lifted in South Africa. And today I'm enjoying myself with one of my favorite wines from my collection. And this is the Siwela Chenin Blanc 2020 vintage. This is one of the greatest, one of the best wines that South Africa has got to offer. It's one of the white wines very popular in South Africa, and this is, in my words, a light, crisp, lean white wine. It's a great wine to drink, especially on a sunny day. So thank you so much for watching. Please do visit our website at Siwela Wines. Remember to subscribe to our wine courses and also to go and buy those wines online. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you continue to have a fabulous, fantastic, and safe day. Thank you. Cheers.